Former president and presidential candidate Donald Trump was attacked during a speech at a rally. Everyone is wondering who did this and who is behind the assassination attempt. As the election approaches, the situation in the U.S. is chaotic. Polls conducted yesterday suggested that Trump is likely to win the election. Trump, who was injured in the ear, was fortunate to survive. We should say he was lucky, because if the bullet had hit a bit more, he would not have had a chance to survive. The shooter positioned himself on a rooftop to target Trump. It was determined that he fired with an AR-15 rifle. What makes me most suspicious is that people attending the rally saw a man climbing to the roof with a gun and reported it to security forces, but no intervention was made. We can say that there is a traitor within the private security team. The shooter was identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. It was revealed that Thomas had donated when Joe Biden was elected president, and he was also a registered Republican. Images of the shooter firing were also released. Besides the U.S., the whole world is talking about this incident. All social media is busy with this event, and some people who support Trump are waiting for a statement from Biden, which has not yet been made. In the history of the United States, there have been 9 presidents who have been targeted for assassination. 4 of these attempts resulted in death, while 5 presidents survived. One of the presidents who was assassinated was Abraham Lincoln. On April 14, 1865, while attending a special performance of the comedy Our American Cousin in Washington with his wife Mary Todd Lincoln, Lincoln was shot. He died the next day from his injuries, making him the first U.S. president to be assassinated. The second U.S. president to be assassinated was James Garfield, who was shot on July 2, 1881, just 6 months into his term. The third assassination occurred on September 6, 1901, when the 25th president, William McKinley, was shot while shaking hands with people after giving a speech in New York. The most recent assassination resulting in death was that of the 35th president, John F. Kennedy, in November 1963. Kennedy was shot while visiting Dallas with his wife, Jacqueline Kennedy, and died shortly after being taken to the hospital. Former U.S. presidents often became targets during their campaigns for a second term. For instance, former President Theodore Roosevelt was shot in the chest during a campaign rally in Milwaukee on October 14, 1912, but survived the attack. On September 5, 1975, the 38th president, Gerald Ford, was targeted for assassination. Ford survived 2 assassination attempts within a few weeks that year without injury. President Ronald Reagan was wounded in a gun attack on March 1981 while walking to his convoy after giving a speech in Washington, D.C. An assassination attempt was also made on President George W. Bush in 2005. While attending a rally with Georgian President Mikhail Saakashvili in Tbilisi, a hand grenade was thrown at Bush during his speech. Fortunately, the grenade failed to explode, as the pin was tightly wrapped in a handkerchief. We will all be waiting in curiosity to see what will happen next. This is my first video. I look forward to your support.